Hello, and welcome to this tutorial session on entering and editing administrative assessment reports in George Mason's assessment platform, Nuventive. You can start accessing Nuventive by going to the web address solutions.nuventive.com. Once you do that, you'll see a sign-in option in the top right-hand corner. Click on that, and through single sign-on, you'll automatically be logged into your home page. This is your home page. At the top center of your home page, you'll see the name of the unit that you're currently viewing. If you oversee multiple units and have permission to view them in Nuventive, you'll see them listed in the drop-down menu, and you can toggle between units using this menu. If you only have permission to edit or view one unit, you'll only see that unit listed. The home page provides basic information about navigating in Nuventive. On the right-hand side is our written guide for using Nuventive should you need help while in Nuventive. And using icons on the top right corner of the screen, you can expand or condense the right side panel. When it comes to entering and editing information, you'll want to navigate to the top left of your screen to the 3-bar menu, or what we call the hamburger menu. Simply click on that icon and you'll see the main menu appear. Let's look first at the General Information section. General Information is a straightforward page where you enter your mission statement as well as your organizational standing and your assessment contact. You can edit this information by going to the 3 vertical dots on the right-hand side of the page and clicking Open. When it comes to the mission statement, you're able to click directly into the text box to make any changes you would like. Additionally, if your unit has changed organizationally and was reporting to a different executive office or division, you can use the drop-down menus to make the change. Please always double-check and make sure the assessment contact information is up to date, as this is the person OIEP will contact if we have any questions about your assessment report. If you make any changes, be sure to click Save on the top right side of the page and then Close. If no changes have been made, you can just select Close. Let's go to the next step, which is your unit's enduring goals. Go to the hamburger menu and select Enduring Goals. Enduring goals are broad statements that describe what the unit does to accomplish its mission. Once you're satisfied with your goal statements, they will rarely change. However, you'll need to update the goal cycle each year. To edit a goal, you simply click on the 3 vertical dots on the right-hand side of that goal. Click Open, and you'll have the ability to make changes. Here you can indicate the years that the goal applies to under Goal Cycle. If you are continuing a goal from last year, just add the current year and make sure that the goal status says Active. While you're there, you can also edit the goal short name or goal statement if needed. Once you've entered your information, click Save and Close. If you decide to retire a goal because it is no longer relevant to your unit, you can open that goal and go into Goal Status and click Archived. Also, check to make sure that the current year is not selected under Goal Cycle. Then click Save and Close. Note that the goal status and cycle will become important as you accumulate years of information. They are what allow us to filter and limit the reports we produce. For example, if we want to produce a report for a specific year in the past, or even just our current year. It's possible that you'll want to add a completely new enduring goal. You can do this by clicking on the plus icon in the top right corner of the page. Once you click on the plus icon, you'll receive a blank page for all new information. Enter your information and then click Save and Close. You are able to rearrange the goals, that is, change the order that they appear on the screen and in reports by dragging and dropping. On the left-hand side of the screen, hover over the 6 dots to the left of the goal name for the goal that you would like to move. You'll see a hand icon appear, and you can click and drag the goal wherever you like. If you'd like to limit the goals that appear on the screen, you can use the goal status and goal cycle filters. For example, I might use goal cycle and go back and look at all the goals that applied to a particular year. Or I might want to look at only the active goals or archived. Note that when we have the filters on, we are not able to rearrange the goals. Those 6 dots to the left of the goal name do not appear. In order to rearrange goals, we must turn off the filters, and we do this by clicking on the X next to the filters. Now let's look at adding or editing objectives. For that, go to the hamburger menu, Objectives Assessment, and Objectives Methods and Results. Here you'll see each of your objectives. Again, you can move these around or change the order simply by clicking on the 6 dots to the left of the objective name, hovering so you get the hand icon, and then clicking, dragging, and dropping. You can also filter which objectives you see by assessment period. For example, if I'd like to see the objectives just for 1 year, 2024-25, I click on that year. I can turn off the filter by clicking on the X next to it. To add a new objective, click on the plus icon on the right side of the screen. Here you can add all new information and then click Save and Close. To edit an existing objective, click on the 3 vertical dots on the right side of the objective and click Open. For each objective, you will see 3 tabs or subheadings: Objective, Assessment Methods, and Results. Under Objective, you have an objective short name, just 1 to 3 words, a longer objective statement, the assessment period, and action items and milestones. The assessment period shows which years the objective was active. Some objectives can be completed in 1 year, so they may only need to have 1 year selected. Others may take several years to achieve. If that's the case, each year you'll add an assessment period to the objective. Be sure to indicate the assessment period, as it will be important later when we use the filter options in reports. At the bottom, you'll have the option to indicate which strategic priority the objective aligns with on George Mason's strategic direction. You can select from one of 5 strategic priorities. Once you complete this section, click Save, and then you can go to the next subheading, Assessment Method. Under Assessment Method, you'll describe how you plan to assess this particular objective. To add a new assessment method, go to the plus sign on the right side. You'll then receive a blank screen to enter all new information. If you're continuing with an assessment method as is, there's no need to add or change anything. Just make sure the assessment method is active. To edit an existing method, click on the 3 dots to the right of it and open. First, check whether the assessment method is currently active or archived. If you want to retire an assessment method because you're no longer using it, click Archived. Otherwise, keep it active. The assessment method section contains text boxes for achievement target, the assessment measure, and the individual responsible for assessing the objective. Also, if you'd like to upload supporting documentation, such as rubrics or measurement tools, you can do that by clicking on the plus sign next to supporting documents. The screen will take you to your document repository, which I'll explain later. But basically, you open the folder and then select the file you want to attach and click Attach. When you're finished, click Save and Close. Finally, at the end of the year, you'll go back to enter results for each objective and assessment method. Results are organized by reporting period or year. Even if you're continuing an existing objective from previous years, you'll want to add new results for this year. To do that, click on the plus icon on the right-hand side. Here you'll enter the date of entry and select the reporting period. The reporting period is the year that you're reporting on. And then you'll select the conclusion. Target met, partially met, or not met. You should check your results against your achievement target to determine that. Under Results Discussion Analysis, you'll give a short result summary statement, and then you'll add further analysis and perhaps discussion. There's plenty of room for thoughtful analysis. You also have the option to upload supporting documents, or you can copy and paste tables and charts directly into this box here. I find it helpful to display results in a table format using this box. Then you'll scroll down to enter future improvements. Once you've finished that objective, click Save and Close. Once you've completed the objective, assessment method, and results sections, you can click Close again, and this will take you out to all of your objectives. There's just one step left to do, goal mapping. Go to the hamburger menu, open Objectives Assessment, and go to Goal Mapping. Goal mapping shows which objectives align with which goals. If you've added a new objective, you'll need to select the goal it aligns with here. First, if you have a lot of goals or objectives, I recommend using the filters to limit what you see. Goals are listed down the left-hand side column. If you click on Apply Filters, you can limit your goals to, say, just the active goals. Looking across the top, you have the option to filter your objectives by assessment period. So now I can check that all my objectives align with an active enduring goal. If I want to show alignment, I just click on a square. And then I can click again to deselect it. When you're done, click Save. Now you've completed your annual administrative assessment, you may want to run a report. There's no Submit button for your assessment report. When OIEP checks your assessment report, we simply look at whatever has been saved into the platform. As long as you've been clicking Save along the way, you're good to go. So to run a report, click on Reports in the hamburger menu. The first report option is a 2-column format. When you double-click on that, you'll have filter options. Notice that the default setting for goal status is active. So unless you change it, the report will only include active goals. Next, you need to indicate the assessment periods and reporting periods you want to include. Here you're selecting the years you want to include. For example, 2024-25. And then click Run Report. First, you'll see information from the General Information page, followed by a list of goals, and then the objectives. The assessment methods and results are laid out in 2 neat columns. This is the format I prefer, but some people prefer the narrative format. You can choose whichever format you prefer for yourself. Notice if you go to the top of the report screen, you can choose Download, which will give you a Word document, or Print to PDF. When you're done, click X. The second report available is the narrative report, the 1 large column report. And then you'll also have an option for the assessment feedback report or a copy of the administrative mapping grid. Finally, I'll show you the document repository. This is where you upload documents that you want to include in your report. So you go back to the hamburger menu, and you'll see Documents at the bottom. Here, you'll store documents that you might want to upload to the assessment report. For example, if you want to include supporting documents in your results information. You can use the General folder, or you can create a new folder. To create a new folder, click on the icon of a folder with a plus sign on the right side of the screen. To open the General folder, click on the word General. You'll see documents that are already there, and you can create subfolders or add new documents by clicking on either of these 2 icons. If you click on the Add Document item, you'll receive this box and can click on Choose Files to get files from your computer or OneDrive. When you're done, click Save. So this concludes our video tutorial on using the software system Nuventive for administrative assessment. If you have any questions or concerns about using Nuventive, please reach out to the Office of Institutional Effectiveness and Planning at the email address oiep@gmu.edu. Thank you for watching.